oh, I see that, that's okay.
Okay, well, now that you're done fear mongering, let's have an actual conversation.
Okay.
That I can show you that he attended these.
This is 2025 that he did his actions.
So you base your judgment on someone off their last action. Elon specifically did some trolling a little too much. He's doing some stuff that Trump's also not a fan of, and he's cut off direct access to him.
That is so bad. It's on a horrible level, on a different level that needs to have some type of consequence. And I don't want that in the realm of people who run the country.
The extreme that you go to, these in my opinion, jumps that you make from one to the other, right? You're basically nullifying a person's intent altogether by saying, he says he's doing the Roman salute, but he's wrong. Look at all the stuff in the past that make me believe this.
So you're saying I should believe him. I have a question for you.
Is it going to piss me off?
No, I don't think so.
I hope not.
I don't think so.
Right.
Do you think if the world was ending, that you would even realize it was?
Yeah, probably.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think other people would, but I would.
No, you wouldn't.
I think I would.
I think remember COVID or anything disastrous that's happening.
Right.
We were like, yeah, I feel like Americans and humans would be like, this is just a phase.
And we were right.
It's just, see? And guess what? The world is burning. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Learn things that you want to learn.
Yeah, fun fact for you.
Hope you learned something from that. I hope you have.
I'm an idiot. If you have any questions, don't ask us.
Welcome to the Idiots Experts Podcast. I'm your co-host, Justin.
And I'm your co-host, George.
And every week we try to fight through ignorance and hatred, and we try to share it with you guys.
I'm here. Let me start preface with this. On this episode,
I'm wearing black for a reason.
Listen, all I'm gonna say
we're mourning
is it's nighttime in my book. Right?
Okay.
We don't fake it on this podcast. We may laugh a lot. These are genuine laughs. We don't fake it. I'm gonna be pissed this podcast.
Well, you can be pissed.
I'm gonna be pissed this podcast.
I'm sad.
I ain't bringing that energy. I'm not bringing that energy. I'm gonna be here just like.
What are you pissed at, George?
I have no idea. I don't know who I could be pissed at. Why would I be pissed? Mm-hmm. Everything's so good right now.
I know, President. I know why you wouldn't be pissed. What about George the civilian? George the regular American?
What do you mean? George is so happy. I tell him all the time. I tell him, George, you look so happy.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know George is the one probably complaining. And the president is just having a great time.
Oh, is this just going to be a Trump podcast? Because my topic's on Trump.
Yeah. So this is going to be a different podcast.
Okay.
And the reason being is I think I'm going to do my topic first. And we're going to skip current events because we're literally talking about current events.
And I was going to say my entire topic is current events.
Okay. Well, before you get into yours, do you know what I'm going to talk about?
Well,
I'm going to steal your whole entire shtick on podcasting in this podcast, George.
Oh,
I'm going to steal it because guess what?
So you're finally going to be funny and be George.
Nope. I'm going to title this segment, Elon Musk is a scam.
And on 90% of the podcasts, I'd argue with you. But on this one, Team Justin, baby.
Elon Musk is a scam.
Team Justin. I got a Twitter email.
Yeah, I'm not sending my heart out to the world right now because ever since the infamous inauguration that just passed in the US and Mr. Elon Musk showed his true colors, I wanted to deep dive and see how much is true about Elon Musk. And guess what? He's a scam artist. Damn, I didn't know, George. You opened my eyes.
To be honest with you, I'm not. I hate that I'm saying this. I'm not defending the guy. Right?
Oh, no, that's a bad start.
But I've become very much changed in the last few days. In the last few months. All rich people are scam artists, bro. All rich people are
scam artists.
Except, unless you want to give the money to me, then you're not a scam artist. You're actually very good.
So
you're
interesting.
a good person who should continue to help those who are less fortunate like myself.
Here's the thing. I love saying I told you so. Oh, I love it. And I feel like there's clips and there's past episodes. Literally every episode, I think the past 2 or 3, I've literally just been saying, I'm right.
Listen.
It's just so sad.
You are taking advantage of a moment of me not being at my best. All right?
Okay.
I will still argue with you.
Okay.
I will still tell you that everything has 2 sides, because everything does have 2 sides.
Everything, your whole world, because I know he's your best friend. Your whole world is about to crumble, George.
First of all,
let's get that clear. George said in many podcast episodes that Elon is his best friend.
Additionally, Justin likes to do this on the podcast, right? Where he likes to tell you that this person's my best friend and that person's my best friend. In this particular situation,
okay,
he's absolutely right. But currently, me and my best friend are fighting. Okay,
no. There's been a fight.
There's a fight.
Okay,
all right,
you guys are.
Me and him aren't eye to eye.
You're not talking terms, at least. Are you guys speaking to each other? A text,
I don't know
reply?
yet. You know, there haven't been enough details for me.
You're giving him the cold shoulder right now.
I'm giving him the cold shoulder a little bit, you know?
Let him sweat it out.
I got an email. Looked a lot like the email that he sent to a lot of his ex-Twitter employees, right?
I see.
That email was like, do you really want to work here? I don't know, man. Well, I had an entire podcast being like, SpaceX, look at us, we're going to space.
Wait, that's the best part, George, is that whole episode you're telling me how great Elon Musk is while I argued with you. And guess what? This episode is the counter episode to that one.
Hold on. People respond more to positivity. Okay. Right? So he's positively not a good person.
Let us start from the beginning, George.
Oh, no.
I want to talk about Elon Musk's origin story. Okay?
He had a small loan of $1 million.
Oh, not just $1 million. Because remember, you told me he didn't come from a wealthy family.
I think it was that family.
Oh, trust. I did the research.
Boy, you better. I want facts. I want
sure, everyone can fact check me. Here's the source. You ready? Elon's father is on video, and I could link you it. Yeah. You could watch him. He's on a podcast.
But can you really trust?
Can you really trust Elon's father? Elon's father, just for everyone who's defending it right now, because Elon Musk in the recent inauguration did some very crazy symbols and gestures, and everyone's saying that, oh, it was just awkward. Oh, he was trying to do the dab. Oh, he was trying to do this. But guess what? There's a video of Elon's father on a podcast explaining the origin of his grandparents. Mm-hmm. His grandparents are American born, or his grandfather is American born, but raised in Canada. While in Canada, he found out that his grandparents are Nazi sympathizers because they said Canada is in a moral decay and we need to leave Canada because the way they're running their country is not what we want.
Which sounds right so far.
We'll see. I'll show you, right? And so what does he do to leave Canada? Where does he go, George?
Germany.
You know exactly where he goes. His grandparents moved to South Africa. Why did they move to South Africa?
Because that's where a lot of German people were claiming asylum.
Nope.
Oh.
Because of apartheid. He understood and he was like, I like apartheid. That's the society I want to live in, where we separate the races. That's what I like.
But why didn't he just go to a country that was all white? Like that's like you're telling me.
He goes to South Africa.
Why go where they're separated when you can just go somewhere where they don't exist?
Grandparents go to South Africa. That's where they start their lineage. Sure. That's where Elon Musk was born.
Sure.
Now, how much money was he making? I'll tell you how much his family was making.
His family or him? Just so I can make sure I'm keeping my story straight so far. His parents. Okay.
Elon's direct parents.
So his grandparents moved from Canada to South Africa.
Yes. They were regular people. They were, I think, I don't know how much money they make, but I know how much his parents made. Okay.
And his parents are living in good in South Africa.
I'll tell you their occupations, George. Right. His mother was a model and owned...
Oh, she a baby?
I think so. We might put a picture up here real quick.
I want to know.
Actually, no, I'll have to clip it out. I'll send you the picture. His mom was a model and owned a dietitian's practice. Now you say to yourself, George, you're like, that's not even that crazy.
I mean, she's a model. She knows how to stay skinny. I could imagine what her dietary suggestions could be.
Right. And it's like, cool. It's like average.
She's like, here's 10 dietary restrictions.
Eat some fruits, eat some vegetables. Got it. Guess what his father did?
Mine was more of an eating disorder joke, but we'll move on. We'll move on.
I was trying to keep it away from.
No.
We need our model fans.
We're getting dark on this episode.
Well, guess what his father did?
It's probably something evil, so I'm going to go with lawyer.
No. He also owned something, and he owned
a farm.
An emerald mine. George, that's what he owned in South Africa.
Oh, boy.
You have two parents in a society. Well, obviously they will thrive because of apartheid, who also own great things.
Justin, how many people, I'm sure our own listeners, right, aren't proud of the things that their parents do? How many people?
No, it's not about moral. It's not about like, I'm not bashing them for their parents being wealthy and good. I just want to point out that Elon Musk definitely comes from a privileged place.
Also, emeralds make people happy. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're painting as like a bad moral agenda. But like,
okay, interesting.
Trust me, take your girl, show her some emeralds. She'll be like, oh, it's beautiful.
I don't think she'll be like, why isn't this a diamond? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I know a couple.
On top of her diamonds.
I tried that on my wife. Nope. She wants a diamond.
I'm not going there. I'm not getting in trouble.
But okay, so that's where we start. Parents, grandparents, which is grandparents, also like to point out, were Nazi sympathizers. Just saying. Sure. Everyone trying to defend him.
Sure.
Okay, so now he's grown up in an apartheid regime. He's grown up where the norm is separate white and black.
Okay, how old? When is he
young? He's a kid.
Sure. Okay, so he's a kid. He's growing up.
South Africa.
All right.
Yeah.
So what age?
I don't know, but for the most part, because
you can't say the most part if you don't know.
I was going to say that for the most part, he was in private school.
Oh, that's fine.
I don't know from what to college.
I support my private school listeners.
I just want to paint the picture of where he comes from. This is where the origin is.
Sure.
Okay. Now you got to figure out, well, why did Elon become so successful? Because you told me in a few episodes ago, oh yeah, he was PayPal. Oh, he founded this and that and that. So I little deep dive myself, George.
Okay.
Don't worry about his first ever business. Do you know what his business was?
Borrowing money from his parents.
Exactly. It's not direct. It's not put it out there like that as a business. But his first business was called Zip2. And it was financially founded by his father.
That makes sense.
Right? Got a good balance and he's able to start a business because the money that his parents make.
No, that's no problem. I'm good with that.
And so he starts that business. This is how crazy I thought when I read it. I'm like, oh, he's business minded, but isn't successful in running a business.
Okay, I'm listening to you so far.
So Zip2 starts in 1995, right? He sold it in 1999, 4 years later.
During the .com bubble?
Sure, yes.
Yeah.
He sold it for $307 million.
Big brains.
Beasto. Big moves. He did business mind. Good for him. Sure. Started with
Wait, what does the company do?
A small loan. Do your thing. A small loan.
I used to have a small loan. It was my father. But I did it. I started the business. It was my ideas.
Not necessarily. He had like two other partners in the first business. Sure. But anyways, what were you going to ask?
I was going to ask you, what age did he move to the United States? But I think we said that we don't know. But also, what is
I skipped it because there's too much information.
What is Zip2, whatever it's called? Zip2
was a online business search directory.
Okay.
So I guess like search engine like Google, but just for businesses.
Okay.
But anyways, sold for, I don't know how, $307 million. I don't know business.
Also back in 1999, that's a big money. That's
an insane amount of money.
That's big money.
Yeah. Okay. So 1999, he sells it. In the same year, he finds and starts X.com and not the Twitter.
Oof.
He really, really liked X. And there's a lot of theories why, and I don't know why. I'm not going to put it out there.
I got some ideas.
Why?
I just think he's a really weird dude.
You think the letter X is weird?
No, I think he himself is just a strange human being who would probably find some kind of like anonymity with letter X. Like, like it's just like, who is it? It's just X.
Okay. Well, originally X.com was an online bank platform.
Okay.
That he and 3 other people founded, right? That was in 1999. He was fired in 2000, a year later.
He was fired.
He was fired in 2000.
What was his position that he got fired?
Well, he owned
the company.
He was, he has stakes in it, but the board ousted him.
Okay.
A year later. That was in 2000. And then in 2001, X.com merged with another company, and that made PayPal. The baby was PayPal.
Okay.
So he was technically a part of PayPal, but that was after he left.
But did he help start?
He helped start one half of the business, which X.com was online banking, and then the other one, which was called, I started with a C or something, that was the money transferring. The kind of like
version of it.
It's not the version, but like their software was money transfer, and then X.com was just an online bank.
Okay.
So they merged, and PayPal today is not really a bank. It's just
transferring money.
Okay. So imagine he gets fired. That happens. And then he moves on. He's quick with it, George. He's fired a year later. He's like, oh, I want to invest. I'm just going to invest my money. What does he invest in? Tesla Motors.
Oh yeah, this one I know.
An already founded company.
This one's that one's fun.
Okay,
that one's a good one. I know this one. I know that one.
You know that one.
Oh, I know that one.
Okay, so in 2000,
it's not his fault. You know what? He made it better.
Oh yeah, dude. In 2003, he invests in the company that was founded in 2002.
Yes.
By I'm gonna butcher these names: Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpening.
Zuckerberg.
It's always these M words.
Different names. Different billionaire.
So I learned that he actually didn't find Tesla. And the reason why he's known as the founder of Tesla?
Well, one, because he said that those guys were doing, my understanding.
Yeah,
basically, they were like, you guys are terrible. You're doing everything wrong. You look at you. You're losing money. Put me in charge. I'll make you very rich.
That's what it was?
Basically.
Okay, so just because, like in X.com, they ousted and fired him a year later it was founded.
And he ousted them.
He's still the founder of X.com.
Yeah.
Right? But the reason why you don't hear about Martin or the Mark is because after they were let go, he started calling himself the founder, and he got sued. And then there was a lawsuit that happened. And the settlement was that he has to be called the founder of Tesla Motors. So he's the founder based off a lawsuit.
No, I think, okay, the story's more complicated than that. He did, no. Because I can't I can't fact check you in the middle of this podcast. I can't just be like, hold on, let me pause you and just look this up.
You can fact check it later.
I'm fairly confident that there's more to the story than just like,
what do you think it was?
100% he was an investor. I know that.
Yes.
The company already existed before he came into it.
Yes.
But he made it what it is currently.
Interesting.
My understanding.
Yeah, your understanding.
My understanding.
And I'm saying.
And this is coming from a guy who's giving him the cold shoulder at the moment.
I'm saying, look at anything that he says. I think, and this could be my liberal communist freaking side, he had a great start.
Really got to you.
No, it's you.
Oh, yeah.
You're the comments.
You're right. It's just me on fake accounts. Just like
he's great with money. Not about running a business. And just like the way he's going to be influential in these next 4 years, it's very money based. I'm sure that the things that might happen in the next 4 years will make a lot of people a lot of money.
I'm sure it will, and I'm okay with that as long as I'm one of those people that gets to make a lot of money.
I'm not okay with that. I'm not okay with that because yes, a lot of people up there become more wealthy, but at the expense of people down here with me. So
hold on. Can I, like, just to interject?
Sure.
I don't want it to be where like I defend this man because I'm currently giving him the shoulder.
You're prefacing it, but I feel like this upcoming statement is kind of crazy.
He's saying that like those kind of people do it by stepping over the little guys like that. But so far, what you've told me is that he stepped over other rich people, which, for my that's business. Is like you're gonna screw people over. Like you don't get to the positions that you're going to be in without It is what it is.
I'm highlighting how he got to his position.
For sure.
And yes, he's stepped over other rich people, but I wasn't going to go into all the things that he's doing that affects everybody on the lower. That was not the point of my segment.
Right, so he screwed other rich people. That's cool.
Yeah, and he screws a lot of people down here.
Nah, I'm waiting to hear how.
My whole point. Oh yeah, you want to talk about? Oh yeah, hold on. Because I want to talk about today, not Elon Musk today.
Okay.
Because the inauguration happened, and look what he did, and that tells America in the world that it's okay.
Well, which part are you talking about? Is
him doing the Heil blank symbol?
Okay, so we're talking about his very strange hand gestures that we're not going to make on this show because that is
definitely not.
That was nuts. That was crazy. I saw that and it was just
back to back. He hit him with a back to backer.
Can I tell you? And I'm going to defend him on this one. I will defend him on this one.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
And if you think that he's a weather condition, if he's a hailer,
that's awful.
That was good.
That's awful, George. And you know that's bad.
That was a good joke.
I was like, weather? He's sunny? Rainy?
That was a good joke. There was a lot of hail.
Okay.
Right. I'm all like, if you believe that, I'm for it. I can see how you come to that conclusion. I'm not saying that he is or he isn't. I'm not. But based on what I saw, right? And the reason why I am going to defend it is I know that he's also done and contributed and helped with a lot of like non-hail charities, if you catch my drift, right? Like I'm so terrified to speak right now about anything. But you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like he's helped in that world. He's
know what that sounds like? It's like you do something racist towards black people and you're like, no, my best friend's black.
It's not the same thing at all.
That's what it sounds like.
No, it's like saying, hey, look, I've given, if you think that I'm racist, why have I given millions of dollars to help promote these businesses and these people and all this other stuff? That's what it sounds like to me. Because
it's interesting because people will defend him and I will hardcore just disagree with people who are defending him because there's a trail. I would believe it. There's the only cop out that I would believe. Because you told me in an episode, he's the number one troll of human history.
Hey, you can't argue that.
That he's up there.
Everything
for sure.
that you just said so far is him trolling.
See, that's the only cop that I could think of. But that doesn't excuse it, even if it was for the sake of trolling. My thing is, there's a combination of look at your lineage and your grandfather and your grandparents, and look what you were grown up with, and you're attending certain conferences that are for certain German far-right political parties, and you're tweeting. Did you know what he tweeted?
I didn't hear, no.
He tweeted, I bet you did not see that coming.
Yes. Don't know that. I don't know the context of that. He does very vague, ambiguous tweets that get him attention.
No. He spelt the word Nazi out. I bet you did not see that coming.
Oh, that's uncomfortable.
And I can show you.
Nope, I can show you that
exact on his Twitter page.
That makes it 10 times worse.
Okay, so then there's so much things, and you can chalk it up to trolling. But at the end of the day, even if it was an intent to troll, it's absolutely insane that you can do that on a national level and show everybody that it's cool. My biggest problem with that, and I have to get this out. I'm sorry, George. You hate me. I know you're looking at me, you freaking communist, you freaking Bernie Sanders fan club. I get it. I'm all of those things.
It's true. You are.
I just have to get this out and then I'll shut the hell up.
No, please don't.
I think it's crazy. It's crazy to think that certain people in this country, in our country, didn't want LGBTQ and stuff like this to be taught in schools and to be shown because it would influence their children and society as a whole.
Sure.
But don't understand the ramifications of someone doing what he did, Elon Musk, and the fear that comes with it because you show people that people in power are doing this. And now everyone's like, oh, I see that. That's okay.
Okay, well, now that you're done fear mongering, let's have an actual conversation.
Okay.
Now,
Okay. You think I'm fear mongering or just I'm not trying to control people and with fear.
You're basically saying that Elon Musk is a bad person. Cool. I'm good with that. I can actually.
You're not good with that.
No, I am. I'm 100% good with that.
Why would you tell me that I'm fear mongering then?
Because the way that you phrase it, I don't like. Right.
Why?
And because we do have an audience, right? By saying that, you basically framed it as if this is the person that you're voting for, right? First of all, those things and events that you're talking about that relate to some weather conditions that we talked about earlier, right? Those happened after the fact. So you can't be like, this is what you voted for. It's like, well, hold on. Those things didn't come to light until after. And we don't know. Second, they didn't vote for him, right? They voted for a very orange man.
Well, again, biggest, I can go through it. He has a long history. It's not just this inauguration moment. Everyone pulled up his history. It has been a long history of him joining certain conferences, doing things that says, yeah, he agrees with
this mentality,
the weather conditions.
Right. And if he does, terrible person, shouldn't be blah, blah, blah. But again, we read so much into like the same way that you're saying, hey, look, he's done all these things that show this, right? There have been literal people on the opposite end who say, hey, look, he's done all these things that promote the opposite.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all because it doesn't cancel out. I can acknowledge that he's done maybe positive things in the world, but that doesn't disregard the horrible thing that he just did.
Can't you reverse that same logic?
Reverse it for me. I don't understand.
I don't want to defend. Sure, he's done terrible things in the world.
Okay.
Right? But can't he still be a good person?
Yeah, I'm not making an argument
because I want to make sure I'm very clear.
I don't know. I'm not disregarding his positive things.
Sure.
All I'm highlighting is this is a negative thing.
Yes.
I didn't say all this stuff because I didn't research any of the positive stuff he did. I'm not saying any of that stuff is all bullshit and everything. All I'm highlighting is how horrible the things he is doing now and the track record that he has.
But no, you're claiming by saying that this is who he is based on this track record, completely nullifying the fact that you just said yourself he did not research any of the other good things that he's done.
Okay. I would admit that, yes, I didn't research any of the positive things he's done, right? But if I did, how does that change any of the things that he did right now? Because
I have seen content, media, reports, things of that nature from people who are very, Orthodox Jewish, who are very hardcore Orthodox Jewish, who are Team Israel all the way, all that stuff, right? And who have met him personally, who have interacted with him personally, who have had communication, and they themselves use their own platform to say, no, like he was just very dumb and did a very stupid thing, which is supposed to be, he was trying to do like the whole Roman salute thing, which I don't necessarily know if I buy, but he could have been a dumb dude who was just like realized that it looked really bad and was like, screw it, this looks bad, let me double down to try to like get away with it. I don't know, right? I don't believe any of those things. I don't know what is true.
I don't know, man.
I don't know what's true. That's the whole point that I'm trying to make, is that I don't know what is true. I'm just not going to put and be like, he is this thing without knowing who the man is.
That's why I've seen a lot online that people will say that. And I think it's so crazy to think he literally is showing who he is right now. People close to him, his daughter, everything, everyone's saying like, look at who he is.
I don't like him right now, do I?
No, but you're like saying, no. I don't know what he may have, not a good intention or a bad intention. Look, you can't say that he's a bad person. I think that's a wild statement to say.
First of all, I said that he's a bad person. I'm just not saying it's for that reason.
Here's the statement you're saying, that you don't think he is for the weather conditions.
I don't know if he's for the weather conditions. I do know that I'm not a fan of him at the moment, and nor do I think he's a good person.
What's wrong with me saying that he is for the weather conditions?
I'm saying you can say that if you want. I'm just saying that for me, I don't see enough to say he's for the conditions.
Him doing that. Do you know what the AfD is?
No.
It's a political party in Germany who are still
Active.
for weather. It's still active.
They're still active.
They're still weather.
They say active.
Hey man, they're weathermen out there. They're the weathermen out there.
Holy moly! There's still active weather in the world. That's didn't realize that.
He joins through Zoom conferences. He joins them.
Okay.
There's people who like put pictures of these conferences on the internet, and he's like there digitally.
Okay.
And so with joining that and doing that, how can I still say, I don't know, man, maybe he's not?
Again, the reason why I have to make this argument, it's not because I want to. Be very clear on this.
I don't know.
But
man.
your logic is because he did this, hence you can assume that.
I think it's very, very strong case that he is. Yes.
So if I pull up information for you that shows that he is at these conferences that are very pro-Zionist, does that mean that he's a pro-Zionist?
Here's the difference. I think, and this is my personal opinion, if someone did something in the past versus they did something right now, you can see, oh, maybe change. I can forgive something that you did in the past. If it was the opposite, if he did all this crazy shit in the past, but right now he's like doing this, he's giving charity, whatever, he's sticking aside, I'd be like, oh, I can see at least there's a chance that he changed, because obviously his actions now show differently. When it's reversed, it's hard to argue that he's still the same person.
What if I'm telling you right now, as far back as I can remember, in like 2022, 2023, I can show you that he attended these.
This is 2025 that he did his actions.
So you base your judgment on someone off their last action. If the last action I did was bad, does that make me a bad person?
You've done bad stuff.
Yes, everyone does bad stuff.
I think currently you would be a bad person. Yes.
And that's where I disagree with you. I'm not going to create this implication on you if you, at this moment, because we're having this conversation, because it gets heated, you get up and you punch me in the face. It does not make you a bad person.
In that moment, yes, it does.
No, you did a bad thing. You're not a bad person.
Yeah, in that moment, I chose to do a bad thing, and in that moment, I am a bad person.
Oh, yeah, see, and that's where I'm telling you that we disagree.
Oh, that's so interesting.
I think that's the core of our argument that we don't agree on. Your action does not define like your being, and we've talked about that before in the past, where your core, who you are as a person, right? It's so funny to me that you make this argument because I feel like you've made the opposite argument before, where
I don't know.
At your core, who you are as a person, doesn't change.
I would agree that there's certain core aspects, yes, that change. But we're talking about a belief system and we're talking about things that influence you. Being weather conditions isn't a core aspect because you weren't born with that. Being kind, being loving, being creative, I think maybe core aspects of that you're born with. Not a belief system, not a weather ice condition.
Bring out the ice trucks.
And so
we need more salt.
I can label him he is right now because of his actions. I think that's very justified.
I hear you, but looking at someone and saying that looks bad, and based on my own perceptions of everything that I know, it means this. There's no other thing that it could mean, and hence he's this kind of person and he's this kind of thing. I don't like that we're talking about.
Oh, sure. You know what? The problem is, I think your problem is with absolutes. Yes. And so when I look at it, because I'm talking with a little bit of passion, you're getting from me
a lot of passion.
that it's an absolute.
Yeah.
No. My passion doesn't come from that he's absolutely this thing. My passion comes from the effects you have on people. Because remember, I said he could be trolling. Mm-hmm. I don't know. There's so many possibilities and things. He couldn't be a weather condition person, right? But the actions that happen because you did that anger me.
May I ask a genuine question here? I'm not trying to troll. What actions have happened so far after he has?
No, it's a reflection. It's doing that, showing that it's okay to do it. It's okay. Now everyone's the ones that felt bad and the ones who are it's like the insurrectionists. They feel more justified for things that they did.
So I guess my question to you is, he'll claim he didn't do that, right?
Sure.
But you claim you did, for sure did.
You had the intent to do it. Now, why the intent is no one can ever tell besides him.
Why do you not buy the argument that he makes that he was doing the Roman salute thing?
Because of other evidence that shows it's a couple things. It's that you're joining these conferences that are pro-Nazi, and then you have a lineage, you have a history of your grandparents and where you've lived that he lived in apartheid. So the past, I'm assuming, looks really bad for him to lead to that conclusion, to agree with the weatherman, and the present that you're joining conferences that agree with that rhetoric.
Again, God, I don't want to defend this man in any way, shape, or form, but you're making me
like
you're
it.
The way that the extreme that you go to these in my opinion, jumps that you make from one to the other, right? You're basically nullifying a person's intent altogether by saying he says he's doing the Roman salute, but he's wrong. Look at all the stuff in the past that make me believe this.
So you're saying I should believe him?
I'm not saying. Did I say believe him?
Okay. So your problem was when you said he says that's a Roman salute, but Justin, you're saying that you don't believe him because look at the past. That's your problem. So the problem is because the man is saying he's doing a Roman salute, I should believe that he's an honest man.
No, I'm saying that alone for me isn't enough to be like, he is this really big accusation. Really huge thing. Okay,
one question and I'll be over.
Sure.
What else, what evidence would he have to do for you to actually believe it?
I mean, it's not necessarily that he has to do more for me to be convinced. It's that there are certain people who have come out in his defense who I believe would defend him if they truly thought that.
There's a lot of people who will defend evil people because their interactions with them was on a much better, healthier relationship. There's a bunch of celebrities like your boy Diddy. There's a lot of people who defend him.
Yeesh. That took a turn. We went from, I'm glad this is a lighthearted topic.
He helped me raise my kid. He gave me some extra Johnson & Johnson because he had for some reason, a bunch of oil in the closet.
It was just there. We don't know why there were so many boxes.
I don't have to go to the grocery store anymore.
I'm not going to question why there were so many boxes.
But he helped us in a pinch. I think he's a good man.
And you're saying there's just skill on this where it's just like, there's just a lot of snow at the moment. There's just so much snow coming down, if you catch my...
Weather conditions. Yeah. I feel like that one's so layered. It's hard to follow along.
I think if you watched from the beginning, you'll be able to keep up with the fact of what weather conditions are.
Those clips ain't. I don't think they're gonna make it.
This was gonna have to be a more serious clip week,
probably,
which is fine. Yeah. Because I just ask that when you make these clips, that you don't edit, that you keep me saying.
So then it would just be me talking to myself.
I'm okay with that. You honestly.
Okay, this guy, dude.
Because honestly,
you're the one taking the stance, bro.
It's because you make.
I'm not the one forcing you to take the stance.
You take a giant leap that I'm as a person. I don't want to go and be like, I'm very weary of him. I don't trust the things that he says. I don't like. I've learned that, like, again, to get into those positions of power, you don't get up there by doing nice things.
Sure.
Right. So I'm not
even mad about him going through business and taking tests. I'm not mad at any of the business decisions he's making. I hate rich people, and I hate rich people.
Oh, can attest to that.
I hate billionaires, and that level of disgust didn't get met until he did what he did at the inauguration.
But again, you're saying that he did a thing that not me.
Tread carefully, George. This is gonna clip.
States is not it. He says that's not what I was doing.
So then we should believe him.
I'm not saying don't believe him.
So what are you saying? You said because I'm saying that I don't believe him, and you have a problem with that. But you're also saying don't just straight up believe him.
I'm saying I'm not going to label him.
I'm not going to label him. So from those actions, I should look at him
and be wary.
Yeah. And my problem with that is because he has a lot of influence. Look at where he is. We should be looking at these people in places of power and be like, no, we hold you to a better standard. We have to have way more compassion for humanity. And if someone was going to do those weather condition signals, there is zero compassion for humanity.
Well, what would you like? One, I don't think any person voted for him, right? I'm not defending.
No,
for real. No one voted for him. There's
friends.
Not best friends right now. I don't know if you heard this, but like ever since, I think he did, Elon specifically, did some trolling a little too much. He's doing some stuff that Trump's also not a fan of, and he's cut off direct access to him. So now what
is that report? How are they reporting that Elon doesn't have direct access to Trump?
It's come out where it was put out that any kind of communication or anything that he's working on from here on out needs to go through Trump's what's it called? Chief of staff. Okay. So, it used to,
he used to have direct access. Yeah. He used to just like whisper in his ear.
Like direct phone number.
Because I think it's actually, again, another just maybe assumption, but if you're going to be the number one largest donator when it comes to his political campaign, he's gonna have a relationship with the president.
For sure, has a relationship with him.
And he's gonna have influence.
But like the same way relationships change, the same way I'm giving him the cold shoulder right now, same way I'm not a fan of him right now, same way that he's pissing me off, same way like I don't even want to defend this man.
Oh yeah, play PR image. Sure.
I don't like this.
Yeah. Make yourself look better.
This podcast would be boring if I just agreed with you.
That's very true, I guess. But I'll end my segment. I have a soft spot for someone in a time of history that literally is zero compassion. And I don't like that it's, even if it was trolling, I don't like that it was like, ha, this is going to be funny. It's absolutely crazy.
Sure. Because there's nothing I can say right now to make me not look like a...
Even that reaction was crazy.
I don't know what you want me to do. I got nothing right now. Like there's no world where I don't come off as like, I agree with you. I mean, what's done is wrong. Like,
you know what? It's sorry. I have more thoughts now. Nope. Is it bad? Is it bad because you definitely have a moral standard of, I don't want to villainize people. And you said that many, many times. And again, I'm not asking for him to be stripped of everything and him be thrown in jail and never see the light of day. I just want to highlight how bad of an action that was.
No, I agree.
And that is, trolling or not, that is so bad. It's on a horrible level, on a different level that needs to have some type of consequence. And I don't want that in the realm of people who run the country.
Again, I think there were consequences to that. I think there are... You are a consequence of it.
His consequence is, instead of whispering in Trump's ear, he has to speed dial someone, a middleman, then get the whispering.
I think it's exactly what you're bringing up right now. Like, jokes aside, right? Like, the consequence is people like you. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like,
sounds like it.
No, I mean, it's a good thing. It means...
Handsome people?
Huh? Bearded people.
Bearded people.
The bearded people.
Okay.
But... it creates caution. It's like, dude, you shouldn't have done that. I don't agree with that. There's a lot of people who were Elon fans. Right?
I don't know, man.
That are now like, did he mean to do it? Did he not mean to do it? Only your actions can tell, right? And there's a lot of weird, there are consequences. Nothing is without consequence.
Really?
Yes.
Because I don't see any consequences from him.
Oh, he did a very stupid thing that people argue about. We're arguing about right now.
What's the consequence?
Well, no, but that's the whole thing. What is you tell me
You're
what
saying
the consequence?
what you said that there's a consequence for everything,
Yes.
and you're telling me the consequence is that people like me are mad.
Yeah, and there's people are weary.
He don't give a shit about me.
Okay.
Ain't no consequence affect him. I think a consequence should affect him.
What consequence do you want him to have?
He shouldn't be in the realm of politics and people who run this country.
Okay, so because
be a business, run Tesla, run SpaceX. You shouldn't be affiliated with anything political.
I mean, what you're saying is because I perceive you to be bad, and again, this is about perception, because we can, right?
Like that.
From here on out,
highlighting of like, again, remember this perception as if there's a large chance that perception, like I misperceived him.
You don't think that there's a possibility that you misperceived?
There's a possibility, but it's like it's so strongly, it's so strongly evident. And I don't even mean if he is weatherman or not. I'm talking about how horrible that is. It should be like 100% that was horrible.
I agree with you. It's bad, but if you make, again, he's not even a politician. He just heads an agency that doesn't even exist, but will exist. I don't know. But right, here's the thing. If people who have done terrible things can no longer be in politics, there will be no more people in government.
Here's the thing. If you do it on a national world level, there should be there's going to be stuff behind doors. And obviously in the realm of politics, people are horrible. They've done really bad things. Everybody thinks presidents not that public.
No, people do many terrible.
Name me another thing in the same exact how horrible is publicly that Elon Musk did.
So not that I would say this, right?
Bill Clinton getting his dick sucked.
No. Good for him on that one, honestly. You see what he was working with?
It wasn't even that bad.
You saw what he was working with?
That's crazy.
I mean, my man just needs a little distraction.
That's crazy.
Hey, you can't even blame him. All of America agreed on the same thing. They all said we'd rather have the other guy.
Dude, damn. That's
good. Don't be blaming Bill, bro. He did not. All of America made the same decision. That's all I'm saying.
But they believe publicly that happened. That was just as bad.
I'm not gonna say just as bad, but the same way that you are pushing this as a very far right, Nazi level movement, right?
What am I pushing?
That
Elon's
this thing that's, again, perception wise, people can be like, it is or it isn't. People are arguing about it. That's fine. But same way, there are people on the far left who have, I'm trying to figure out how to say a same thing as a weatherman without, conveying. Just
say it, and I'll if it's bad, George.
No,
we always can fix it.
Dang. People have in Congress,
sure,
or other political spheres, have expressed a pro.
Just say it out loud.
Explosion.
I'll just. But out if it's bad.
Pro-explosion agenda.
A pro-explosion agenda.
A pro-terrorist agenda.
Oh, okay. Why can't you just say that?
I don't know, man. I just feel wrong.
What's wrong with you?
I'm scared of the internet.
And now I have to edit it for it to be a normal conversation.
I'm scared of the internet.
What's wrong with saying that?
People have argued they have made phrases or said things that they're like,
sure,
right? And everyone will argue on the right side will say, this person should not be in politics. This person is a terrorist. This person is this. This person is that. And that person needs to be out of politics and blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
How is that, I guess, different from what I'm asking you on this?
Because I'm asking for a specific example of someone in a political position of power doing something that bad. That was a very vague, and I'm sure there's many people who talk like that. I don't doubt that. I'm not disregarding it. I'm asking for a specific example. Because those people, when you do that on that public stage, you shouldn't be part of politics anymore.
Can we take a brief intermission so I can pull up a clip for you?
Sure. Point your camera. Oh, never mind.
No, because I don't want to right now.
Making me more do work for we don't even get the prize.
There's no prize at this one. But there are people who will argue the opposite side. That's all I'm going to say.
This guy, dude, what? Because he was wrong. Wrong. Show us the video. Show us the video.
I was never wrong.
Show us the video.
I was right in a different way.
Okay, George, show us the video. Show us the video.
I'm not. This has been a crazy episode.
This has been a crazy episode.
I don't know how we're going to bring this back. I do want to talk about one quick thing before we wrap up, which is the whole taking away of birthright citizenship. I can tell you one thing is based on my understanding.
It can't happen.
Which is no, it can.
Really?
If you change the Constitution.
Wait, if you believe that can happen, then you have to believe that his third presidential term can happen.
It's again, anything can happen at this point. I'm. If you guys, if you stuck around for this, props to you. Props to you, because I don't even think we hung around for this part of the podcast.
Okay.
But genuinely, in order to do it, you have to change the Constitution. Is changing the Constitution possible? Yes. It's just not likely.
My wife told me that it's not so much that they're changing, but I think the Constitution says that you can't have a back-to-back consecutive presidential term. So the fact that he won, lost, and won, he could have a third one.
It's actually really funny how they wrote that congressional bill. It's very, very like on the way they wrote it was basically written so that exactly he can run again for a third term.
Oh, is it?
But Obama can't.
What do you mean, but Obama can't?
Because he served 2 consecutive terms.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like they wrote it in a way.
Well, back then they didn't know Obama and Trump. They didn't have the foresight for that.
The bill was introduced recently, from my understanding.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was a long time ago that no president shall serve.
The 2 terms thing is Constitution. Okay, we're good at it. Okay, we're very good. Nothing's changing.
Okay.
Right? To have a third term, you'd have to change the Constitution, which I'm saying is very, 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 very unlikely.
Okay, well, hopefully. But you saying that undue naturalization, that could happen.
Same thing. It's in the Constitution. In order for them to change that, he would have to somehow change the Constitution.
Which is highly unlikely?
Highly unlikely.
Okay, we're good there then.
We should be good.
We're chilling.
But to be honest...
You said highly unlikely. What's going on?
I say that about a lot of things that ends up happening.
You lied to me.
As we've learned from this podcast, right? What? I say one thing, but sometimes...
Love the billionaires.
The opposite happens. And sometimes I eat my own words. So I have to just cover it up.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm so curious that so much happened in the first week or so of his presidency.
Guys, we're only 1 week into this presidency. It's going to be a lot of news to come. If you want to keep hearing us argue, and if you want to keep hearing all of the craziness that's happening, stay tuned. There's more to come. And I hope that me and you break it down on a moral level.
We can break it down.
I'm down to go on the moral, because I feel like that's where me and you have the best conversations.
Sure.
Is the differences between our morality, because I'm just, right? And you're supposed to be Justin, but instead you're bad.
Okay. Yeah. You're about to say you're just and I'm unfair. Because that's the opposite of just.
You're just unfair.
Okay, interesting. So when you say talking to a moral level, it sounds like because all this pent up hate you have for me, you're willing to unleash it instead of having a productive conversation.
I'm just ready to show to the internet that you're a bad person.
The thing is, like I told you in the last podcast episode, I'm trying to read a self-help book every month. And January, I wanted to talk about it. But the damn president and Elon Musk has fucked everything up.
Welcome to the internet, guys. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the podcast.
And I'm angry.
We talked about Elon. You can put your opinion down below. Please, would love to see those comments. Would love to see those comments. We talked about Elon. We talked a little bit about immigration. Not really. We'll see if that makes it into the podcast. We hope you tuned in for this part of the podcast. We hope you got something out of it. If nothing else happened, we hope you laughed. I don't think they did that in this episode.
I don't think they laughed that much.
But we'll catch you on the next one anyway. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah.
Peace.